Today, their final Comicon panel, which is really sad, but we're going to make it really good. It's been such a treat to cover this show for the past couple of years, and I'm not going to waste time though with big cast introductions because we want all the time for my questions and for yours, of course. So let's start. We're going to bring out first Mr. Craig Silverstein, who's obviously the man responsible for all of this. Next up, the man you know as Ryan, Noah Bean. Melinda Clark. Aaron Stanford, Burkhoff. Of course, Alex, Lindsay Fonseca. One half of Nikita, Mr. Shane West. And last but not least, Maggie Q. So just kind of start off, kind of going down the line, whoever wants to hop in. How are you guys feeling? This is your last panel. It's sort of the beginning of the end. And you go into production, I think, this week. So it's got to kind of be setting in a little bit by now. Anyone?
Yeah, it's great. It's bittersweet. I'm just glad that we're able to end it, bring it to a full close, as opposed to just leaving it where it was, or have to play that game where you're bringing it to a conclusion, but maybe you're going to keep going. So knowing that it's going to finish lets us end it with a period, hopefully exclamation mark. Yeah. Round face. No.
And for the actors, I mean, it's been your life for the past 4 seasons. What's the feeling going into this last season?
No more flying. What? Melinda's got a daughter, so she had to fly a lot back and forth. Lots of miles. Yeah. Lots of free flights. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, when I found out about the Last Order, I mean, my initial reaction was really nothing to do with the show. Everything to do with my emotion about these people, our crew, and what we built, this family that we built over the past, 3.5, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. And my heart hurt. It hurt because I have a very deep love for them, and I'm gonna miss them. And then I got over it and realized that I really like them. But for me, I think, like Craig was saying, it's one of those things where we get to end this show with such an integrity and with our heads high, because it's not one of those things that I've never been on TV, but I didn't want it to drag out and be that thing where you're like, okay, you're running keto, you blah, blah, blah. I didn't want it to be that. I wanted to go out and have everybody sort of feel like, full but still a little hungry. So hopefully that'll happen.
This one's probably more for Craig, but I've heard a lot from fans that they're very concerned that 6 episodes isn't enough time to wrap up the series. But I think there's some pros to it, I think you said. What can you say about sort of having this smaller batch of episodes to wrap things up with?
I think what it means is you get right to the good stuff, that you don't have that slower build up, and the way that the end of our seasons kind of ramp up really fast and things are happening one after the other. That's how we're going to start this season. Right in the middle of it, and kind of not take our foot off the pedal until the end. So that's a bonus, I think, doing it that way.
Maggie, where we left off, Nikita's sort of gone in this weird full circle. It's not a good full circle, but she's sort of back out on her own. Michael's chasing her in. Are you kind of excited to delve back in and go back to playing that same dynamic, but with the twist?
I am. I also want, it's so funny because I got so many like, how could you do that to him? And I was like, out of love. It's one of those things, and I think we're gonna open, like Craig said, we don't have to build to anything. It's sort of like we're just getting to it. And in the first script, when Nikita sees Michael again, it's like, it's one of those things where, it was a weird way to leave it, but it was a decision made, purely out of love, and so I want to get into that right away, and I want to get into the fact that, obviously, she left because she really, really loved this man, and that was what that was about.
And Shane, Michael had a really difficult season last year. Now he kind of was back in a good place, and then now probably not so much. I mean, what does this do to him when we pick up?
Michael may have gone dark again, especially after the end of season 3, but it's going to be a really fun dynamic to play, and in a smaller amount of time with the 6 episodes, but it just means it's even more important. And I don't think he's always going to worry, and he's always going to love Nikita, and I think that this is going to truly put their relationship to a test of where it could even possibly go at the beginning of this season and towards the end of it as well.
Lindsay, I don't think there's any character, especially on Nikita, I can't think of any on other shows that's gone through so much heartache since the beginning of the series. Can you talk about her evolution a little bit and kind of where we're going to see her at the start of the season?
Sure. I mean, yeah, Alex has been through a lot. I mean, when we first met her, she was so young and such a delicate place. But yeah, she's been through a lot, but it's kind of exciting because this year, like we ended last year, that kind of question of, what do I do? What does Alex do with her life? She doesn't have to hide from anyone. She is a real person and has a, public persona, and so she's going to take advantage of that. But it's going to be a tricky balance to do that during the day and play spy at night. So,
this might be for everyone too, but what does Division as it is, or the group that kind of made up Division, look like without Nikita at the start of the season? Sort of all of you without her, even though she's kind of been the glue that kept you all together over the past 4 seasons. That might be more for Craig.
We're all kind of together, but split off. Yeah.
Well, they're,
Craig was looking at the screen.
Their base this time, their lair is an airplane, which
Doesn't stop.
badass. That means that they can kind of be in different places around the globe and be in contact, and then, we can deal with how they get together.
Oh, the plane flies? I thought it was like...
No, it flies.
Oh, I thought it was abandoned.
No, it's in the air.
I thought it was just like, they had weeds all over it, and it was just...
I think it's in the air, and it's gonna, we're building it, and it's gonna shake, and,
That's a great way to solve that problem.
I know. It's all, what it was? We didn't want to go back to we did the layer, which we're never going to top. We're never going to top Nikita's layer from the first season. And we kind of knew that, set-wise. And so then they had the beach house. That was all right. Falling Waters. They all get destroyed. Division was their layer last season. And so we couldn't go back to, a hideout again. And so we're going to be in the sky.
That's so cool. I'm glad I don't have to be there, though.
Yeah.
I'm not really an office person.
Yeah.
Hair sick though, which is the problem.
Ryan's gonna be vomiting the whole show.
Noah, kind of speaking about Ryan, he started as this guy we'd see every once in a while in a few episodes. He had some fun interactions with Nikita, but you've just become such a crucial part of the show. You folded in so well early on. Can you talk about kind of his evolution? He became a little Percy-esque last season, and that was very different than what we'd seen in years past.
Yeah, I guess Ryan was kind of flirting with a little bit of Percy-esque, and I think I heard some, there was chatter about whether Ryan in season 3 was going to kind of be like an origin story of Percy, but I think they're very different guys, and I think that Ryan, he was in maybe a little over his head, but he still kept his core values. I think, this is a guy who really did believe in right and wrong, and I think that's how he kind of hit it off with Nikita early on, as they shared a bit of the same sensibility. I think Nikita may have been a little bit more extreme than Ryan, and I think ultimately he realized the power of Division too, and I think we've always talked about that Division kind of felt like another character on the show, that the place itself, the mythology, even the architecture of that place felt like a person, and we were obviously battling with that person a lot, and realized that we couldn't change that person, you know, and that was the danger I think that Ryan was up against throughout all last season, and just trying to deal with, you know, it was like herding cats, trying to be the boss of these crazy assassins.
Hurting cats?
Herding cats.
Oh.
Not herd. I would never hurt a
You
cat.
cat,
I know we have a lot of animal rights
Dude, if you hurt a
activists
cat,
here. Okay.
your ass is dead.
Yeah, I would never harm a cat.
Don't even think about harming a cat.
No.
I'll hurt a cat.
Yeah.
I guess on that note, for Melinda, who had heard a cat,
Meg's upset too.
I'm really upset about that. Where do I even begin with you? I mean, Amanda is,
Why say you? Isn't that
well, yes, right, Amanda. I mean, she's just had 9 lives. She's, you can't destroy her. She is pure evil, I think, at this point.
You think?
I do. How do you, I mean, that's been such an evolution. I was watching early episodes and was bad at first, but you didn't quite know what her motives were. And then she just became this villain.
Yeah, I think Craig would say the same thing, purposely kept her enigmatic, and we clearly peeled away the layers of the stinky onion that she ended up being. But, you know, this character always somewhat befuddled me. I never quite knew what the true motivation was in the first couple seasons, but I always tried to ground her in some kind of misguided, effed up, oh yeah, 18 years of age, love. And of course, ultimately we did learn that it ultimately was this betrayal of love from her father. And then that theme carried through with Nikita, this absolute mission to destroy her and teach her a lesson. And I guess I understand somewhat what she's motivated by, and of course now, I guess is the technology that her father was developing, is that something that she's carried with her and we're using?
I think the idea of transforming people and manipulating people and creating people like she did at Division is going to be taken that much further, and that's what she's going to be doing. But you're right, Megan's like, she is too evil to destroy. Like literally, our plan was to kill Amanda at the end of the last season. Like up until almost the end, it was like she was dead, and then she literally something happened and we could not kill her. She survived everything we had up on the board. And
That's so interesting in the 3rd season, like so interesting. You ended up for me becoming one of those interesting characters in the series, just because it just got so textured and weird.
Yeah, and that episode, we were all
She was great.
We were. Oh, thanks.
Beyond.
Keep going.
I mean, you're really ugly, but you're talented.
But I think we were the episode where we actually Amanda takes Nikita into Amanda's childhood.
Oof.
We were also concerned about whether or not the audience would get it, and I think the network was really.
We thought y'all were dumb.
No,
We were like, oh, they're not gonna get it.
but the network was concerned about the audience getting it, and it worked.
No, we
really
were actually concerned. I'm kidding. We were concerned. We were sort of like, are they gonna get how weird this is? And sometimes I think, to Craig's credit, like if it's weird enough, if it's so weird that you can bear, you'll get it.
Yeah.
It's gotta go all the way with the weird.
It was such a great twist, though, that Amanda ended up being actually Helen, and Helen became
So
Amanda.
good.
And the acid wash jeans and the
and
80s
the
outfit you were wearing.
shoulder pads.
That was my
You guys, we
highlight.
sewed that stuff and we put shoulder pads. We sewed them in extra ones. And the shoulders were like up to here. It was fab.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. That was good.
16 candles.
Craig, while you're on the topic, is this something that Amanda is going to be able to kind of carry into the last season? Is she the big bad, essentially, or will she
No, yeah, she's definitely the big bad, and it's sort of Nikita dealing with that and then realizing that she's displacing, Nikita's trying to take everything that's dark inside of her and think that she can exorcise it by getting rid of Amanda and stopping Amanda, and part of that's true, and then part of that is that there's a darkness in Nikita that she needs to deal with on her own, and so she's the big bad, and so is Nikita in a way. Their own worst enemy type of thing.
You'll kill Nikita or Amanda?
Yeah, which
Aaron, I think Workoff is definitely like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I think that was
Thank you.
You just went from the nerd in the beginning of the series to you're kind of the glue because every mission that they do, they kind of need your input, they need your technology, they need all of that, and you kind of bring everyone back together. Did you ever expect the character to go in that direction when you joined the series early on?
No, I mean, no. He's had a very interesting arc, and people who remember in the very beginning, he started off as this very sort of childish, amoral narcissist. Like he was kind of a bad guy, and gradually over time, you've seen him become, a much bigger person. And he's grown up. He's kind of become an adult over the course of the show, and that's been great to realize. And yeah, I think he is sort of the, in a way, he's like the glue of the group.
You even got a love interest last season.
I even got a love interest. I think I deserved it.
Yeah, Aaron's got to get laid too, right?
I think everybody here can agree with that.
This is the room that's going to support you. I think also, I just want to add that, Aaron's character is the glue because, obviously, like Meg was saying, he's an integral, but he is really the leader when it comes to missions and all of that, and he is the glue that holds that together in the technology world. But the reason why he is the glue is because he's so damn good. Like, so damn good. So talented. And so, you bring it together because of how you play him and what you brought to life for him. And that's hard to do when you've got, Nikita, and then you've got Alex, and you've got the big bad Amanda, and you've got, you know what I mean? And you shine no matter what. And it's crazy.
Thanks very much.
So Craig, what can you say about the final season regarding full circle storytelling? Are you going to try to tie things back to early in the series regarding characters or storylines, or what's the sort of tone in these last few episodes?
I think it's sort of the final fight. There is some return to the origin. I think for Nikita, there's a return to her origins even before Division, before Carla Bennett, before all that stuff. Some stuff we haven't seen before. What was she like? Where did this all start for her? Was it somewhere before Division? And as opposed to it's not really going to be a tour though of kind of greatest hits of things that we did in season 1, or 2. There might be some nods to it, but it's pretty much new stuff.
New young stuff?
New what?
New young stuff?
New young stuff?
Like new stuff that's, would you say pre Carla Bennett?
Oh, yeah, just like her, issues that she has, about being abandoned and about being, that kind of stuff, the stuff that led her to commit the crime she committed in the first place that got her on Division's radar.
So issues.
Issues.
We're just going to have a private conversation on stage.
Yeah.
I know the writers sort of developed the story, obviously, but for you guys, you've sort of, you are very fond of your characters. You've played them for years now. Is there anything you'd like to see them achieve or do before the end of the series?
That's a good question for Alex, actually.
I know, I was just thinking there's so many things that I feel like she would want to come to amends with, but there's too many things. I think that...
Kind of doing it.
Yeah, I feel like there's it's the beginning of that. It's like the beginning of her taking control of her own life. And, with the help of everyone here, she's able to do that now. And, just experience through this whole thing. But, I think that there's a lot of those loose ends that I feel like this is the year for that.
Anyone else?
I'd like to know Michael's last name.
I'd like Michael to smile.
Maybe he'll smile.
I'd like him to crack a smile once.
The season 3 DVD and the extras and some of the cut scenes and deleted scenes, Michael's last name is revealed.
Is that serious?
Yeah.
No, you don't want anything out of the last season. You don't want anything out of the last season?
No, of course not. Yeah, that's absolutely
Just
it.
that.
I've been dying for 3 years. No, I mean, I'm. It's just going to be exciting. It is a small amount. It is 6 episodes, but it's going to be an exciting time to see how everyone's stories come to a conclusion. And I'm obviously very excited to see where Nikita and Michael go as well, and what can be accomplished in those 6 episodes.
We'll open the fan questions pretty soon if you guys want to start lining up. The Alex and Nikita dynamic is such a fan fave. What can we expect out of that, just given that they're so separated in the start of this last season?
I think you're going to have to wait to the later episodes, for that stuff to start coming back together again.
Once they do, will people enjoy that dynamic?
Sure. Yeah, I hope so.
Can you guys just, in kind of closing my question segment, talk about maybe some favorite moments or things that stand out since you guys shot the pilot?
You know what I really like that I hope people will see is the blooper reel for the season 3, on the season 3 DVD. Is that out yet?
October comes out.
I love that. The blooper reel just kind of, I feel like, what? It shows like,
When is it out?
But seriously, the blooper reel, like favorite moments from you mean like favorite episodes?
Just anyone, I mean, for your character, for, an episode, anything that kind of stands out in the series history.
Yes.
One of my favorites this season was when Creek actually gets Amanda and Nikita tied up, and the camera opens on Nikita like this, and she looks over, and Amanda's sitting there like Anthony Michael Hall, like going, this is a nice reunion.
That did not turn into a comedy.
It
We were all
did.
tied to a chair.
And it turned into a comedy.
Villains in a show, and we were just tied to a chair. We were just kind of looking at each other.
Yeah,
And we couldn't stop laughing. We could not stop
But
laughing.
it was funny because it was like, oh, I get it. You're gonna do this, and it'll combust, and the door will go, and we'll start a fire, and we'll get out. She's like, no, just start a fire. And we're like,
I just hope someone calls the fire department. That's my plan.
And then you
My
kind
big
of all of a
plan.
sudden see this like mother-daughter-sister relationship that's like where they're. I like that.
We had fun in the third
more
season,
comedy.
didn't we, Melinda?
Anyone else?
I mean,
Sam was cool. I liked getting Owen's. Right? Yeah, it was such a fascinating thing to have this dual personality. I mean, they're both kind of dark guys, I guess, but
Yeah, but Sam's really, dark.
Sam's even darker, right? That was, I found that really fun and exciting.
I like being tied up by him.
I love that scene. I love the Melinda torturing Aaron. So
Oh, when she hits his hand?
Oh yeah.
and sticks the thing up his
120 words per second.
Yeah.
Now 60.
I should ask about Owen and Sam since Devin couldn't be here. What can you say about that? He was definitely separated from the group by the end of the season. Can we expect to see him come back into the fold?
Yeah, he comes back into the fold. Owen's a wild card. Sam is even more so. There's no reason for him to be with them, except for he still wants revenge on Amanda for turning him into Owen for 10 years and turning him into kind of this, what he thinks is like a dope, for 10 years. And so there's certain things that bring him back into the orbit of the team, but he's a very volatile sort of element to have along.
All right, you guys, let's open up to questions.
Hi, Maggie, I'm a huge fan for your Three Kingdom Residence Dragon, and your action against protests were refusing to play because of the costume, animal props, the skin.
Oh, when was that?
I don't remember, but I remember your action was like you refused to play the movie because of they use the animal skin.
Yeah.
So I really respect that.
Thank you.
So this is a question for all the cast. What was it like to work with the Isaiah Mustafa, the Old Spice guy?
Oh, the Old Spice dude? By the way, I said, do you get sick of that? And to his credit, he goes, girl, no, that's why I'm here. He gets it. He's like, Old Spice made my life. He is so
He's
charming.
not fresh as a daisy.
No, he is like...
It was a pleasure, real pleasure.
Right? Charming and funny, like exactly, he's that guy.
I remember when I first met him, he's actually just so kind and so polite and very, he doesn't quite have that Old Spice voice.
No,
but I
does.
did a double take after we'd been working together for a couple of hours, and I finally went, oh, that's the Old Spice guy. But it was like, it took me a few minutes to figure it out.
It was a tip-off. You showed up on a horse. Like, wait a minute. Got a shirt on. And then the horse turned into a boat.
The women on set were not upset that Isaiah was on our show.
Shirtless in every scene.
Craig, just kind of playing off of that, will we see returning characters like that in this last batch, or any new faces coming in?
Yeah, there's new faces, for sure. And we want to get Cyrus back. We'd love to have Ramon back from the second season. We're trying to get some of those people back in, but it's may not be. We're just still trying to figure it out. Yeah. I don't want to promise it and then like Cyrus is coming back and then he doesn't. That would suck.
Next question.
My question's kind of a joint question for Maggie and Lindsay. With it being the final season, how do you feel about such a hurried wrap-up of the power struggle between Nikita and Alex?
A hurried wrap-up? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a power struggle. I think that they're just kind of, Nikita left and went her own way, so I feel like the gang is just trying to clear her name and find her and make everything okay again. I mean, she is the most wanted woman in the world, so, that's really the top priority. And then Alex's side thing is that she's trying to, get all of these human traffickers down and these, big organizations that do that. So they're kind of like two different things, but I really don't know how it's going to end, so I don't know.
I really don't. I understand what you're saying, though, like that, the sort of latter half of the third season was a bit of a, they were not seeing eye to eye. Their sort of core values were different. Alex wanted one thing and Nikita wanted another. I mean, I think essentially, at the end of the day, they both wanted the same thing, but going about it was very different, and so that created that sort of, whatever. And I think that happens with family, that happens with, that sort of dynamic, that sisterly thing, and that, teacher-student dynamic too. One day the student's like, hey, I think you're doing this wrong, or it should be like this, or whatever. And the irony is that you teach them everything they know, and then they're like, you're wrong, and you're like, oh, okay. So it sort of was that, it did, you're right, it did go up and down at the end, but I think by the end of the season, I think they were all on the same page, and it was just a sad thing that they had to part ways.
Hello. I just want to say thank you for a fabulous series. Thank you so much for all the and for a fabulous career. And I think also a shout out for my sister Lauren Jones, PMK. She's been so ecstatic to work with you all these years. But my question is mainly for, I guess, Melinda and Craig, if in these wrap-up episodes, if there'll be any emotional diving back into Amanda's childhood or any emotional ties with Amanda's childhood and Nikita.
Yeah, I think that's going to come into play. Amanda and she's doing what she's doing because of essentially what her father did to her. She is somebody who doesn't exist. I mean, Helen there was no birth certificate or anything like that. And so she's somebody who's always trying to define herself, and so that works into the way that she's trying to define Nikita for framing her as the assassin, the president, turning her into, as Lindsay said, the most wanted woman in the world, and taking her from anonymous to notorious is her way to kind of almost see what happens to Nikita and then maybe.
Yeah, that was a great line.
Yeah.
Oswald. Nikita.
Yeah.
So it kind of sums it up.
Hello, Colin. Big fan of the show. Been watching it for years. Been trying to get everybody I know to watch the show. You guys are one of the best written shows on television. So, Matt, props to you guys. It's a little bittersweet. And specifically, I want to be mad shout out to villains. You guys have the best villains on television. Like, I hate Amanda, and I hate Percy. Like, horrible people. But I love watching them. So my question is twofold. I guess first is there any chance that we're going to see Percy even in flashbacks back in the final season? Because that would be completely awesome. And then second, we live in an era where like shows don't really go away. Is there a balloon out there that you might end up on a Netflix, a Hulu, or something else?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's said anything like that, so I don't know. But yeah, Xander, I don't know. What do you guys think?
At least for an episode.
A whole flashback, Xander flashback. I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Next question?
Hi, my husband and I are a big fan of Nikita. In fact, he told me to say hi to Maggie Q.
Hi.
He loved Nikita because he couldn't get the.
Oh, he couldn't come?
He couldn't get the tickets.
Girl, why don't you call me?
Oh, okay. And this is probably a question for Craig. When you said question mark, I was so happy. Probably, in 2-3 years, I will be back. We'll see.
Yeah. You know what? There was a Nikita show before, and there's a Nikita show now, and she's a hard gal to keep down. So I don't know.
Hey guys, just wanted to start off by saying I'm a huge fan of the Nikitaverse, everything from Luke Besson's original Left Fed Nikita, all the way to the American remake with Bridget Fonda, Point of No Return. So my question could probably be best answered by either Craig Silverstein or the guy that read on Dorknado himself, Mr. Aaron Stanford. This has always been a thorn on my side since season 1. How did you guys get the technical research for some of the stuff that you guys do on the show? Like, for example, when Burakov's character initiated a phone call with Madeline Pierce, they, paused the DVR and realized that you guys had IP addresses that extended subnets that just technically wasn't possible. I mean,
Yeah, Aaron, how'd you do that?
That's all on me. I come in and just wing it, and we're like, sounds technical, let them do it.
Hello, forgive me if my voice is shaking, but the air conditioning is freezing me.
Oh my God, tell me about this. You want to wear this?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you all so much for 3 great seasons. It was just amazing, and I came into the show late. Somebody introduced me to it, and it was the best thing. I'm so glad that I got to enjoy 3 great seasons with all of you. My question is for Lindsay Fonseca. Forgive me, it's a little weird seeing you without hearing Bob Saget's voice in the background. Kids, this is the story of how your Aunt Rob joined division.
I couldn't hear that last part. What'd you say?
Oh, kids, this is the story of how Aunt Robin joined division. My question is, well, now that Alex is a free agent, what's going on with Owen?
I will say that they do meet in the first episode of season 4.
That's it?
Who knows what that means?
It's not Owen though, it's Sam.
That is suggested.
Hi, I'm shaking. You guys are just so incredibly good looking.
From the cold?
Well, you guys are stunning. Anyway. If I could get my question together here. Now that the show has wrapped up, can you tell us, all of you, what sort of projects you have down the line or plans?
Yet.
We're a little busy for the next few months.
Like starting to work on Monday for season 4.
Yeah.
Maggie did a movie though.
Thanks, Craig. That's a great plug. I just finished a film, and then I think we're gonna do another one really soon. So, you know, good thing I'm free. That worked out. That was weird. Shane? Oh, what are you doing, Shane?
I am nothing. I'm gonna worry about finishing this show, and I'm actually working on writing one as well. It's actually been written, and so now we're gonna see what we can do with it that has something to do with the comic book that I was working with for USA Today. So we'll see what goes with that.
I'll give you guys a little piece of advice. Never ask an actor what they're doing next. That's the goblin that haunts our dreams. It's hard to work in this business. So we're finishing up this gig, and then most of us are hoping to get another job after that.
It will not be hard for any of
That's where we're at.
That is the truth.
Next one.
Hi, Lindsay, you're so pretty. For the cast, what do you miss most about coming to conventions and meeting with fans? What is it that you miss the most? Either the questions, the autographs, or just like being around people? I don't know.
I don't know, I guess I was kind of just like, oh, this is the last Comic-Con, but, you know, it's not, I'm sure we'll all be back, but it's the last one for all of us together, and I wasn't really sad until I actually started meeting you guys, and you guys saying, I'll miss you next year, and so then I got kind of sad, so I'll probably just miss that. You guys have been so good to us every year. This is our 4th year here, and we've just gotten so much love and support, so I think that will be missed.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I just want to say Maggie, thank you so much for bringing.
First of all, your name's Amanda.
Such strength to this character and for representing us Asian American girls on TV. My question is for the whole cast. What's one of the most emotional moments that you're going to cherish and take away from the series?
I mean, I think for myself, was it the, even though this is a type of show that has them in every episode, practically. But I think for me, at the end of season 1, for Michael quitting Division, giving it up for the love he had for Nikita, and showing up in the lair again, and being so vulnerable, that was like one of the most emotional things for me, and it was such a fun scene to shoot, too.
It was. It really was. We felt it that day. We were very sort of like, finally.
And it was towards the end, too. Like that was a moment that culminated in 22 episodes. It was just, I don't know, so it was very passionate, and it was exciting, and it kind of led to what happened for the next couple of seasons, For me. That's all I'm saying.
Anyone else?
Emotional?
Or just funny.
I think it was when
You in person, season 2, a little bit?
Oh yeah, she did feel like hurt a little bit, didn't she? Yeah, I actually had my own little backstory when it came to Percy and Amanda, and he was the one person that was able to really just get her where it hurt, and he called me a lapdog, and that hurt. So yeah, she had tears from that.
Next question.
Hi, I'm T. I'm from Toronto. I've been dying to meet you guys for the past 3 years. I had to come see you guys.
We'll be there next week.
I just wanted to ask, because you guys seem to have lots of fun behind the scenes. Any favorite moments that you guys want to share from off screen?
Everyone's just on their phone the whole time.
We don't actually talk to each other.
Tweeting and text photos.
Well, Devin's tweeting.
Yes, that's for sure.
One of my favorite things about the behind the scenes of Nikita is all the dogs. I'm just dogs. Between Maggie's dogs.
We just all own animals. We're all animal freaks. And Lindsay and I will sit there and go, look at this picture of this dog.
We'll just talk about dogs.
We don't even know.
Like,
look at this picture.
We'll pull up pictures of dogs and just talk.
Look at this video.
It's like,
we're 12. It's awesome.
Shane's Snuggie and Cocoa parties every Saturday night. I'm really gonna miss those.
Those were exciting, right?
It really makes it feel like home.
Well, it is cold.
Holy winter nights.
I think you mix that up with Dylan Casey. Sean Pierce parties. Yeah.
It was fun to just finally shoot a gun. It was individual.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This year I was like, yeah, finally. That's right. You had that too, didn't you? A couple times?
Yeah.
this guy holds a machine gun. He's like a kid in a candy store.
I love it.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
The next day he said, I'm so sore.
That's fiction.
You were sore from that day of shooting.
No way. I live for it.
He's like, I wasn't sore.
Don't say that.
Ready for action at all times.
Hi, my question is in regards to the relationship between Michael and Nikita. You guys like totally sizzled. Oh, it's amazing to watch because the feeling seems so apparent, but yet the emotion seems to go so deep, and it's also really, really hot at the same time. So, last year there was a question in regards to a shower scene. I just want to see Shane West with less on.
First of all, thank you for saying that, because we actually hate each other. We did the shower scene,
Yes,
first
we
of
did.
all, and the best part, remember? Wait. So, the shower scene, so Craig was like, we're gonna do the shower scene or whatever, because somebody said it was a joke, and then he had to do it because we said we would. So we just did this quick little thing, but the shower curtain was somewhat see-through, you know, it was one of those like kaleidoscope looking, it's clear, but it's got those circles on it, so you can see, but you can't see. And so we both had to be in nude, we both had to be in nude underwear. So it looked like we were showering. And I was in nude, and he looked like a Ken doll. Not because he has no penis, because he was wearing those tight bike shorts, but they were skin colored. And I came in the shower and I was like, ew! and then, so we didn't know how it was gonna happen, and they turned the water on there, it's warm, it's fine, we're like, okay, good. It was warm, and we did the shower scene, and then when it got wet, our nude stuff was totally see-through. We were dying. It was totally see-through. I was like, Shane, your John's out. So I'll just send you a mental picture from my head of that day and you'll be fine.
I have a question. The question to the entire cast. What was your favorite episode you guys worked on?
No, you just start.
Gosh. I guess my favorite would maybe be Dark Matter, the first episode that I ever did, which was about halfway through season 1.
Episode 110. We call it the 110. At least Carlos Cotto does. He always refers to it as the 110.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was, I thought it was a great episode. I mean, it was nice to be in it, and it was great. They can't believe I'm still alive. I mean, usually I die at every show that I'm in. Especially a show like this, I'm shocked that I'm still here. So
I knew you were going to be awesome in this show. The reason you survived so long is because one of the first lines you had to deliver was, describing division, you had to say, these guys are like the dark matter of the universe. They fill out empty spaces. And we're like, I don't know if any actor can actually say this line. It's really cheesy. And you just nailed it. It made it so believable. And so
he's so earnest. Everything he says, you believe.
Yeah. So that's 90 stuff is true. What about you, Melinda? Favorite actor?
Rain of Fire, I think, this year for me was just, not only did Maggie and I laugh our asses off during it, but just seriously,
we're so good in it.
But like I said, thank you, and you too. But no, seriously, I have this moment where I'm like, I finally get to like shoot guns and do a fight scene, and then the fire was scary, and we got to get picked up by real firemen. Bucket list.
So fun.
And then she got my move.
I was like, oh my gosh, hot firemen. And then they came in. And I was like, will you throw me over your shoulder? You know, they throw you over. I wanted to be on their shoulder, and then I just got dragged, and she got thrown over.
Yeah, and I get to say that. Yeah, and then she gets to go, I'm so much worse than all you bitches when they got it.
That was great.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
But no, that was fun.
That's a hard line
too. That whole thing was just, it just reminded me, it was just so what Hollywood is about, because we had the fire and the action and all. It was just, and that, you do that all the time. So for me, that was kind of fun. Yeah.
I mean, I think the Shadow Walker episode was probably named after me, so yeah, that's my favorite. I had a lot to do there, and tons of fun, and he gets to kind of like, go out in the field for one of the first times, and then breaks off from the group, goes off on his own, comes back, saves the day, saves Nikita. It was a good episode.
The one where Vladimir came in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was called Alexandra. You always like the episode's named after you.
I know, we're such conceited actors. I like that one because she I think that was the moment she finally said, I am Alexandra Goodenough. And it just had some sort of like cool power. When I said it, everything just kind of made sense for Alex. So I like that a lot. Thanks,
It's really hard to pick. I mean, one of my favorite episodes, I think, would be the finale of season 2 of being able to see Percy and Nikita's relationship come to an amazing end, and Roan, who was such a great character, him going down as well. I mean, that was just one of the most exciting episodes, I think, for me. Yeah, Rob Stewart was amazing.
Oh. My moment was, because he's here too, so I can talk about it. Albert Kim, one of our writers, is sitting over there with his kids, and yeah, Albert Kim is like, he's mad. He really is. And like, Albert and I have always been friends, and we've always gotten along very well. But when he wrote Wrath, I called him. Well, first of all, after I read it, and I was like, Albert. And I said to him, I remember, and it happened, but I said to him when I first got the script, I was like, I really need you to be my friend on this episode. Like, I need your friendship because I don't know if I can do this without you. And he was like, okay, I'm here, let's do it. And it was such a hard episode, and we were so emotionally drained. Remember, Albie? And but I remember leaning on each other in that way and having that close relationship with the writers that we have was, I couldn't, without you, I wouldn't have, I love you. It was great, I'll never forget it.
We have one more question.
Look, love to all of you guys, first of all, but real quickly, Noah, I'm wondering how soon after the audition process you were streamlined and kind of brought into the inner circle, because when you think analyst, you don't really think tough guy or anything like that. So I'm wondering, no offense, I'm just saying, you don't think that. So I'm wondering, how soon did they bring you full circle to let you know, oh, this is going to be more than just paper pushing?
I guess it was, I think when I first auditioned for it, I remember actually I made it my audition, I was doing a play in Boston at the Huntington Theater. I was doing William Inge's Bus Stop, and made an audition tape with the assistant stage manager in my dressing room in the bowels of the theater, and booked the job amazingly. And I think it was supposed to be like 5 episodes or something in season 1, and they kept me alive, and Ryan started to build, and I think, you know, I think a lot of it was thanks to Maggie. You know, she was so great to work with in that season 1, which is what I was mostly, you know, I was mostly with Nikita, and it was such a pleasure, and we had such a good time, and I think you could see some potential in Ryan and being a part of the team, and then I showed up, started to pop up in season 2. You did kill me in season 2, but it was a fake death. Yeah, and then towards the end of that, that's when I think I was invited to come and spend a little more time with the gang in season 3. But it's been an incredible run. I mean, I feel really blessed and honored to have spent all this time here and to become part of Team Nikita and get to work with these wonderful people and you know, say these wonderful words. But yeah, does that answer your question at all? I guess that was...
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.